Yo, what's going on, guys? Koi here. Today, I'm making a universal tower defense video, and the reason why I'm doing this, for instance, is just to make it easier for people to actually get into the game without having to jump through hoops like I have. Just a simple guide on how to actually get into this game through so and so systems and such. Because obviously, we do have these new banners that just released, and they literally just have to do with their own event, which is crazy. Like the Universal Festival, how do you get the currencies for this and be able to catch up for the Universal Festival 3, which is going to be releasing on Wednesday? And I like to get into the nitty gritty. I like to get into the details. What did I do in order to get where I am? And honestly, it has to do with two different teams. One of those teams being One Piece, and the other one being Dragon Ball. But my Dragon Ball team's not finished. I didn't really mess with it yet. I mean, I could save this one. But I digress. The way that I set this up and the way that I did all this had nothing to do with all these units at all. But I got all these units using very specific units, and I'll talk about those units right now. For instance, if you do join the game, you have to know that there is going to be a selection banner. Now, selection banner allows you to actually pick through multiple mythicals in the game, some being meta, some being not meta. Obviously, you can get Virtual Idol, you can get Prodigy Mage, you can get who's another good one? Mihawk, Ace, Kenpachi. Not really too big into Shanks myself, Super Roku, but the way that you'd want to set this up, right, is having to do with what do you actually need. And even at the beginning of the game, even if you put in all the codes, which I will put a link down below where all the codes are, and I'm going to show you guys like a really cool website first before we actually get started on exactly what is like super meta. And there's a website that literally every YouTuber uses and slash gatekeeps in order to actually, because I learned this obviously being someone who likes to get information. YouTubers like to gatekeep information because they could use it later on. Here it is. This website, I'll link it down below for you guys. This website alone is amazing. What this allows us to do is actually go through the entire database of the game itself and be able to see the latest tier lists, the latest stats, the latest top damage dealers, potentials, and loadouts. There's just so many really good ones that we could do here. And this is just like, if you want to go for meta, this is what you would do to get to meta. So, besides that, I digress. Let's go ahead and dip back into the game itself and then talk about what are the first steps to actually becoming incredibly powerful, incredibly quickly. And there is a character that is allowed to do this easier than most of the characters in the game. And that character being Ace. Now, the reason why you would want to use selection banner on Ace, or if you can possibly get him from any of these banners in general, is the primary, and all you need is one copy of Ace. Now, why? Because we're going to be doing two things, and this is a little summoning guide for you guys. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get two characters, and we're going to max them out star-wise before we even get into everything else. Those two characters that are going to be incredibly necessary are Speedwagon and Bulma. These two characters are going to be the most important characters throughout your entire gameplay, throughout the entire game, no doubt at all. The reason why is because these guys literally do everything in the game for you, such as get you money, even give you some bonuses, and can be put. You can put gear on them. Sorry. You can put gear on them in order to actually make them even more powerful and make your team more powerful, such as characters like Gogeta here, who have passives which work off of characters that have crit. He gets more damage, which means even your freaking farms can help you do more damage, which is absolutely amazing. Now, the reason we're going to take these guys is because they're both the farm units, and we're going to be using Speedwagon more than Bulma in the early game for this specific strategy that I'm going to be showing you guys. So, first things first, after you do that and you get those two characters 6-starred, because getting them 6-starred in general is going to be very important, because there's a star collection system, which you can see you get more passive earnings, you get more earnings in general, and you get more bonuses. And every character's got these star systems. So you guys have to actually pay attention to that. If you guys don't pay attention to that, you won't get all the benefits. For instance, there are some characters that this doesn't really apply to, such as exclusive characters. And then there's some exclusive characters that absolutely need this stuff, like this: Vengeance Mark, increased damage cap, more stats, more damage. There's just some characters that benefit more than others. And I don't really want to get into unit types and stuff like that because that's a more complicated video. But after we do that and we're ready to get our ace, and the reason we want to get ace first is very, very important. You're going to want to start auto-selling everything. Skip the animation, summon maximum. That's going to allow you to do 50 summons. Boom. Once you do 50 summons, you'll be able to get 50 characters straight up. And then you take those extra mythics, and this is why like you really could get away with not focusing on ace, because if we actually go all the way to this side of the map right here, with all the gold that you get, specifically from summoning on all the banners, you'll be able to turn those little characters that you don't want anymore, even any of the rarities really, any of these characters, like let's say I don't even want Sukuna. I don't want Sukuna. I want to turn them into a secret shard so I can make my secret shard characters better without having to get a duplicate of that secret shard character. That's just how this works. So I could do that, and then boom. And then this is just an example. You could do this with any of the rarities, even exclusive characters. So if you do have an event where you get multiple exclusives, then that's a great way to get some exclusives. But we're here to do it for this. So, oh my God, I'm sorry. My phone is loud. I'm going to put that behind me. Now, if we go to our secret right here, now I do need 2 more copies of Vegito, but that's fine because we turned 2 more secret shards into 2 copies of Vegito. Now we actually were able to get him maxed out to 6-star. And 6-star is going to be very important for a lot of mythics in this game because doing a lot of damage checks requires you to actually do 6-star damage, not including actual like, setups and stuff like that. So every character can possibly get the exact same stats. And sets alone and relic sets are going to be very important for doing that. The only thing is, specifically with Ace, what makes him so powerful, especially in this meta, is he has 2 things. Oh, that's my wrong Ace. He has 2 things that make him incredibly powerful. And yes, you could run this, or you could run Spatial. We'll talk about traits in a little bit. But first things first, we could increase the burn damage of Ace by 100% more, having him 6-star. We've increased the Flaming Heart damage and range cap by 30%. We can does increased burn damage to armored enemies by 20%. All this is incredibly important because this dude is so meta for a lot of content in this game. He also has a special exclusive accessory relic. Now, this is considered, if you ever played like Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle or Dragon Ball Legends, you will know this is pretty much the consistency of an easy A. Now, what this allows us to do, and if we actually pay attention to the accessory itself, we can go to, I think we could view. Oh, no, not that one. I meant click on them and then view all stats. No, my bad. Passives. No, my bad. Tags. Is it? Am I tripping? There is a way to view relics here, right? I can't be tripping. You know what? I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to go into items, and we're going to go ahead and view the relic like this. Now, what this allows us to do is, when in a full set, specifically on Ace, increase the damage by 100% and increase burn damage by 50%. This is a Spade Donut. Now, with this one, you could get buff potency or you could get elemental damage. Elemental damage is incredibly important for this. Specifically, I just never went for the second donut, but we'll talk about where we get that from because I like to take you guys step by step. So first things first, we're going to actually go straight to the play section, and we're going to talk about what do you need to actually make Ace really, really good. So to do that, you actually have to complete the story. So completing all the story is going to be very easy with Ace. Honestly, he's going to be a fantastic character to do this by himself. And once we actually get to Marine Base, we're actually able to go to Legends mode. Once we get to Legend stage, you'll see right here we could get Spade Donut. And also the Spade exclusive hat for his evolution. Now, this is actually a double piece of a double event, which is super old content, but has really, really broken bonuses. So with that being the case, we're going to go for Ace. So we're going to do this event. We're going to spam this event, possibly macro this event. Now, if that's, once you do that, you'll be able to actually do that with Ace and Speedwagon alone. They're actually incredibly good and cheap units. And then after that, we're going to focus on some more important things, like how do we actually make Ace stronger? And to do that, you could take any of the equipment. Doesn't have to be raid equipment. Doesn't have to be any of this. It just has to have dot. One piece has to have dot, and the other piece has to have damage. That's it. Once you do that, Ace is going to do amazing damage no matter what. As long as you have elemental damage specifically with the donut, you'll be good. Depends on how hard you want to farm that out, because this is just going to be the one character we need to actually unlock all the possibilities in this game. Now, the reason why is because there's also some cool things that came out in the recent updates, which makes him even cooler. Now, Ace can get some bonuses here that make him incredibly important, especially in total to do a lot of damage. Now, the reason I like to run specifically Ruler Ace is because whenever we do synchros, the person that initiates the synchro is the person who's going to give over the stats, such as the trait. And a Ruler trait is amazing for the Spade and Sabo synchro. And what that looks like is it's going to be these two characters here. It's going to be having a Evo'd maxed out Spade and then having a Evo maxed out Sabo. These two together create a synchro. A synchro does a crap ton of damage because it's pretty much a synchro drive. Synchro drive turns it into another unit within itself. I'm going pretty fast. I hope I'm not going too fast. If you guys get lost, I'm sorry. Now, the only thing we do want to focus on here is also doing a damage stat check. Now, I did get some pretty good rolls here, but you can do that. They're really easy to get, especially after you get his potential done. And for his Evo, which I'm just going to showcase what it looks like. It's going to be easy. 2 universal shards, some burning fragments, some ocean fragments. All this stuff is from the legend stages, specifically from the Dragon Ball. The legend stage that we just did, which is going to be all of those legend stages on a repeat. And you'll be able to get those items very quickly from the One Piece area. Now, once we have Ace, and I'm going to go ahead and change my team here because honestly, I can. We're going to go ahead and run because I'm not running One Piece. So we're just going to run Ace by himself with no bonuses. Especially, we're going to get rid of Goku Black here. And I'm going to show you guys what content we are preparing for. And that's going to be the Blitz event. Now, the Blitz event is going to have a lot of rewards that we could get here, such as the exclusive Doflamingo and the exclusive Whitebeard, who is a top 5 damage dealer in the game. Now, the cool part about this is that you're actually able to get not 1, but 2 and 3 of the event currency from this in general. So you'll get the first universal event currency, and you'll get the second universal event currency just from this alone. And this is going to be pretty easy to repeat, especially with just a character like Ace. And I'll showcase what that looks like. Understandably, with Ruler, it's not hard to get trait rerolls in this game, and there are going to be more quality of life stuff that happens with this game. But there's a tactic with Ace which allows you to actually do a lot more damage to a character like Whitebeard by himself. Now, you can get some other characters as support because it might be necessary, but first thing we're going to do is create a macro. So for instance, we're going to go ahead and go from Otherworldly Hell, delete this macro. We're going to load this macro. We're going to press play on this macro. Starts the recording for this macro. Now, when the game starts, we'll be able to actually start the recording. So we put this away, and then we put this at 1.5 speed because we don't want this to be slow. We want to start, put down Speedwagon. We're going to go ahead and focus on upgrading them manually. And we're going to put down Bulma. We don't need to upgrade her at all. So we're going to do this. We're going to put Ace down. He's going to kill. We're going to upgrade Speedwagon. Ace is going to do just fine by himself. Does lots of fire damage. As long as we focus on getting the donut and we focus on getting damage stuff, especially equipment in general, level it up for the specific character, we'll be fine. As you can see, now we're doing the ball attack. Now we kind of want to stop here. This is where we kind of stop here. The reason why is because Flame Pillar, Fire Pillar, is not going to do a lot of damage to shield because it doesn't do a lot of instant damage. Now, the reason why is because it's just a issue with the way that the game works with that specific purple shield that Whitebeard has. And you'll see it right now. As you can see, with this, we're going to do a significant more amount of damage, plus burn damage in general, which is going to be fantastic. Now we're almost done with this fight. Once Whitebeard actually gets to 50%, boom, he's already dead. That was that easy. Now what we do next is we go down here. Before we even restart or anything like that, we go ahead and hit the macro, turn it off. Now we load the macro and we press play. The game is going to play by itself. And you can have this on overnight. You don't need an auto clicker to stay in the game. It will automatically work. And this still works for mobile. It still works for pretty much all platforms as long as you actually do the macro thing right. One thing I would suggest is turning off auto replay until after you actually do the macro, because I had my auto restart on and that would have actually just ruined my macro right there if I had that on and I didn't click this fast enough before, when you get the rewards is when you're supposed to click that stop button. You could stop it earlier, but honestly, it's more consistent if you do stop it like this. So, honestly, this is like the fastest part to actually get the best early game experience that we possibly could do. Of course, we could run spatial with this guy, and he'll do just that. And auto macro all those guys, and you'll be able to do tons of work with these guys really easily. I don't think I'm getting any benefits here because Fusion, Super Warrior, and Light Element, he has none of those. And as you can see, we got both of the currencies, and now we're going to get more currency here. And this is like a great overnight macro. Now, I think I don't want to make this video too long. Now I'm going to go ahead and pretty much make this a part 1 so you guys could actually digest it, enjoy it, and if you guys want to move on to part 2, just be ready for that video to release. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video, probably within the hour or after 2 hours after posting this one, because the next one's going to be talking about the best possible early game team to build with the best stats. See you guys later.